I'm Malcolm Van Delst, and this is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or extra long novel that opens with a woman trying to kill herself. She says, I don't know why I tried to do this, and by way of explanation, tells her life story. We're in book 2. Previously, in Do the Wrong Thing, Ava moved to a new house and smashed her clock radio. Trigger warning, self-harm and trauma in this piece. I'll put my questions at the end. This chapter is still called Van Gogh. It's the end of this chapter. I saunter down to my fridge, open it, and select an apple. I polish it on my t-shirt and amble back up to the dining room where I've left the unhooked phone receiver face down on the table. I pick up the receiver and put it to my ear. Uh-huh, really? I say. My mom is still chattering. She never notices when I leave the phone. I want to cut her off, tell her I'm busy, but she'll be angry. Uh-huh, really? Oh, I say. After an appropriate amount of time has passed, I can hang up. I've got to go. Bye. You're embarrassed by me, John raises his voice. Admit it. You're embarrassed to be seen. I'm not embarrassed to be seen with you. Bus passengers look over, but turn their heads immediately when I lock gazes with them. I look back at John, roll my eyes, and shake my head. You are, John says. Why haven't I been to your new place yet? Sweat prickles across my scalp, runs down my neck. Passengers back away in this fogged-in mini-world. Because who cares anyway? It's just a place to sleep. I scream. I care, John yells back. You're breaking up with me, aren't you? You're breaking up with me. The bus pulls into a stop, 2 before mine. I push through standing passengers. Excuse me, stumble from the vehicle and run away. I breathe deep, not thinking about where I'm headed. Bam! The dark gray stone of the building to my left turns sideways. Hey! A man shouts, then a long black umbrella and legs clad in gray dress pants appear. I sit up, dazed. A lined and unfamiliar face tilts into view. Are you okay? It asks. I nod and scramble to collect my book bag. My palms sting. I brush the dirt off my pants, wet from the sidewalk, before inspecting the scrapes on my hands. Leave, the stranger commands. I glance up and see an agitated John behind him. I catch eyes with John, but look away. I said, leave, says the man, straightening. Keeping my head down, I watch John's keds back up. I hear the shh as his feet turn around and the slap, slap, slap that gets fainter as he runs back in the direction we came. I smell wet concrete and car exhaust touch my throbbing temple, a bump. I made John punch me. I'm embarrassed to be seen with him, I think. It's not right. I have to have him come to my new house. I watch red droplets run down my wrist, plop. When they hit the sink's white porcelain, they join with residual water, lose intensity, and become translucent at the center with a darker, swirly rim before breaking open and trickling towards the drain. I thought I'd see what it felt like. The pain is sharp and localized along the break in my skin, not dull and soft-edged like the one in my chest, the one like a perpetually wet watercolor painting. I wrap a Kleenex around my wrist and put my razor blade back in its handle. I shouldn't be doing this. This is what the new, sharper pain says. Stop this. There are psychiatrists you can talk to for free at the university. Tonight, I call Mom instead of her calling me, wrapping the long cord from the phone's receiver around my wrist as I stand in the kitchen doorway. My landlords are out. My landlords are out a lot. Ava, it's so late, my mom exclaims when she hears my voice. Mom, I want to kill myself. What? Ava, I just, done. She wants to kill herself. I hear my dad approach. He makes a heh sound. It's not a laugh, but a sharp, frustrated exhale. You need to come home right now, my mom says. Ava? That school is no good. It's filling your head with ideas. Are you praying? Are you praying? I can't help you if you won't pray. You need to come home. Ava? Ava? I feel heavy and light at the same time. Like the insides of my body are falling, but the skin, the outside, floating up. There's a stiffness between my lungs. It hurts to breathe. Bye, I say. Ava! No people, no small talk, no deeper convos. Study, read, write, library, home, class. I inspect my shaking hand as it enters my field of vision. It takes a minute to understand what I see. I need to talk to someone. The phrase stutters into my consciousness or tries to. I've pushed this experiment, desire to live without human companionship, to its limit. I now comprehend for myself, without having to trust what people say or what I read in books, that people are social out of necessity. It takes an hour to move from my attic to the kitchen. Once there, I stare at the phone. The room is cold. The house is quiet. My landlords are out. My landlords are out a lot. Because I'm shaking, I can barely get a finger in the dial, and when I do, it slips from the hole before completing the circle. I push down the panic. Hello? Finally, an answer. Arthur is a deranged guy I know from the cafeteria. He talks a mile a minute, hardly letting anyone else speak. I don't know why I have his phone number. Hi, I murmur. Hi, Arthur says. It's Ava. Oh, do you want to get coffee or a drink sometime? The words spill out of me like water from a ketchup bottle if you forget to shake it before turning it over. They're gross. They're disgusting. I do stop shaking though. I can't. I'm meeting someone. Okay, another time. More ketchup. Yeah, says Arthur, sounding confused. Bye. Bye. Humiliation washes over me. But at least I did it. I called someone. I don't want to be anything like my mother. My mother sees a psychiatrist. At the mall's farmer's market, spending my weekly $20 on groceries, I notice Costas with a young blonde woman outside a restaurant. Costas gets a new blonde every 3 months, my classmates say. I inspect the girl and sneer at her longer, straighter, blonder hair than mine. I was never a 3-month blonde. I completely forget that I would have been if Costas had let me. The psychiatrist's office is on the 4th floor of the university medical building. I've been in this building once before, when I thought I'd branch out in my study and reading locations. The entire space, even the medical library, gleams like a real estate ad populated with assertive, steady-eyed students and doctors. In the middle of it all is an indoor courtyard with a tiled pool surrounded by trees and shrubs dotted with orange armchairs. I'd lounged in one of those orange chairs, legs up over the armrest, a defiance that had offended no one. We'll meet for about a month, then I'll recommend a treatment, Dr. Klein tells me. He turns from his white table desk and his window overlooking the pond to me, seated in a plastic waiting room chair. Second visit. How's your love life? He asks. Fine. I scowl. Dr. Klein raises his eyebrow, waits for me to go on, but I stare back, brow furrowed. What's fine for me may be different than what's fine for him. I'm not here to talk about John anyway. I'm here to talk about John and I had a fight, I tell Dr. Klein at my 3rd visit. John punched me, but it wasn't his fault. It was my fault. Dr. Klein doesn't react. I swear, if I told him the building was collapsing behind him on the other side of the courtyard, he'd nod a few times and scribble in his notebook. Oh, says Bill at lunch when I tell him about my new psychologist. I know who you mean. She's an alcoholic. What? It's not that I don't believe Bill. It's only that I've never thought that doctors, lawyers, people with responsible positions, people who others regard with respect and deference, could be alcoholics. Mrs. Evans was assigned to me by Dr. Klein. You don't need to see a psychiatrist, he'd said, but you could benefit from talking to someone. Mrs. Evans dresses well. She may be distant and disapproving, but a drunk? How can the university keep her on? I thought everyone at universities was respectable. Bill laughs. Yeah, she's an open secret. Bill, with his puppy dog eyes, at first you think you're some kind of love deity to him, that he can't help himself. Then you see he looks at everyone like that. Bill's very promiscuous, Gerald says. I find it strange that Bill talks, really talks, to cafeteria and maintenance workers, university administrators. He's friends with all of them, as if he worked at the school. Maybe he does. He's only studying social work part-time. After 3 visits, I quit seeing Mrs. Evans. Talking to her is like wandering through a mall, unfocused, noisy, and punching into a cloud. And I break up with John. It's not because he hit me. That was my fault. We're just not right for each other.